Hello, 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 and welcome to this video on my thoughts and opinions and hopefully fixes that Borderlands 3 would do in what my opinion would be of what I feel made some of the other games after a while at least made me just not want to play them. Sorry, a little burpy. But yeah, we had the recent gameplay reveal of Borderlands 3 and it looks pretty okay, I'm not feeling too hyped because like I said, I've gotten kind of I'm thinking like some other people have, like how they have what is it, battle royale fatigue. Kind of got the looter shooter fatigue here because there are some issues that are lined in with looter shooters or like these big adventure games that I hope that Borderlands 3 won't fall into. Though there is one that we have seen that they are going to fall into, and we'll get to that in a little bit later. But first off, one thing that I feel with a lot of these like kind of adventure games that I just hopefully Borderlands 3 won't do is make me feel bored because there are times where it's like it's understandable like you're in the deep of it, you're shooting, you're doing all this stuff, crazy stuff, and that yeah, but then you go from that to like okay, let's open this locker, let's open that locker, that throw it there, that like I'm doing like me and my teammates are doing that like okay, we're ready for him. It's just like I'm just sitting there like, would you like to be shooting people here? Oh, we gotta wait for this guy. Bored. I'm bored. Because you go from like this adrenaline pumping action to just like, let's open this locker, let's open that locker, let's open this. Hopefully they get rid of that, because it's like just like the looting aspects of just like looting a bunch of chests. Like it's understandable you got a chest here or there, but it's like when you got like you get $5 here, you get some ammo there. Woo, woo. It's like it gets boring after a while when you got this big open time of not fighting. Like it's understandable when you're at a point of like you're organizing things, you're selling off your weapons, you're figuring out what kind of combo stuff you want, to help complement you and your teammates. Sure, that's understandable. That's an understandable area you need to kind of be at sometimes with the big adventure games like this. But being that there are times where it's like you just killed all the enemies and you're looting there, you're doing that. The looting needs to be quick and just fluid and just fast, in my opinion. The looting needs to be fast. That way you can get to the action and the next stage just quickly. Because if you got too much downtime between the action, it gets boring. It just does. Now I mean, a lot of ways to remedy this, of course, just like what I do usually is like I got music playing most of the time, so in that time I'm just listening to music, feeling the music, it's okay. But it's just like we got so much of that game time of in between the action. It's just it's boring. It's just like, oh, what's the point? It's like sure the action is fun, but there's just too much downtime. That's the one thing I hope that Borderlands 3 doesn't suffer from. It's just too much downtime because like I said, it just gets boring. It does. But like I said, I hopefully it will not suffer from that. Like I felt like Borderlands 2 kind of did. It's like you just like especially in the early stages, like you're like, okay, we got to shoot these guys, shoot these guys. Like it's slow to start. It's kind of understandable, but it's like you don't want to be too slow to start. You don't want things to slow down or be too slow because it does get boring after a while, and it's just you don't want that to be a thing. You don't want it to be too boring, and hopefully like I said, hopefully Borderlands 3 won't have that whole, either too slow to start or it's like too much downtime where you just feel bored. So hopefully, yeah, Borderlands 3 won't suffer from that. Now, another thing that hopefully Borderlands 3 will not suffer from is what we've seen with especially some recent adventures and looter shooters is lack of content. Hopefully what they've shown us isn't like the biggest stuff there is, like kind of like how people said about Anthem, like sure you people want to complain about it, like granted that you wish the game would be better. I haven't played it, since the beta, and it looked like a fun game to me, but I didn't just have the time or the money for it, so it seems like I might have dodged a bullet there. I don't know, but or how they got Fallout 76, how that was a misstep, or how there's like Mass Effect was misstep. Like you've had a lot of these games that are like supposed to be these big AAA badass games, and they've had missteps. Hopefully, The misstep that some of these have, which is a lack of content, Fallout and Anthem. Borderlands 3 won't. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying hopefully it just will not. That's one thing I hope it won't suffer from that we've had recently with some looter shooters or adventure games. Is a lack of content. Of like end game. Like hopefully after you beat the game, there's some good in game content. Of stuff to do. Not the Let's be real, not the usual stuff that Borderlands kind of had, which is of just running the game over again on a harder difficulty. You know, that might be understandable with like a single player game, but this is basically it's supposed to be a big co-op game. You can't do it solo wise if you want, of course. As they stated like that with Anthem. But this is supposed to be a big co-op game. So hopefully it won't have the misstep of lack of content or just lack of things to do after the in-game aspects. Not saying it won't. Like I said, these are just my concerns that hopefully will be remedied once the game comes out. We don't know yet. Sorry, almost tipped my cup over there. Got a little bit of stuff in it, so ooh, heart attack. Yeah, I hope it won't have the lack of content we've had recently with some games, or especially after end game. Now the third one, which I've stated about, like with some games, like say Destiny or it could be an Anthem or whatnot. It seems like might be messed up. I'm not saying it is yet, since we don't know, but might be messed up is the whole the amount of weapons there are, because it's been said they're gonna have over a billion guns and stuff, which I always thought was idiotic, because it's like you get barely any variety between the stuff. There's not like much of a difference between someone that's like, okay, these two weapons, they're about the same, but this has a scope and this doesn't. Like, whoop de doo. It's like it's like hopefully, because they stated how they're gonna have like different types of fire. Like one's like an SMG, you just shoot, and your secondary fire is rockets. It's cool. Hopefully they're not gonna have the misstep where it's like it's just the weapons are kind of forgettable. Because let's be real, other than maybe like a real small percentage of weapons in Borderlands 2, maybe, uh, the guns were mostly forgettable. That's I think the issue that has been aligned with looter shooters like say Destiny. Granted they have a few guns in there, but like the majority of them, like as you level up, it's like, okay, I'm done with that weapon. I'm done with that weapon. I'm done with that weapon. It's like, damn, it's only been 5 minutes, and I've already been done with 15 weapons that are like all level 2 or 3. Like, I think that's the underlying issue I find with a lot of these looter shooters. Like, because the one thing feel, like I said, in all of this is my opinion, the best remedy is to find a way to have it to where you can like level up these weapons to level up with you. You find a weapon like, oh, I like this weapon, but I would like to level it up with me. Change this, change that, and stuff. Granted, like I said, that's just my opinion, but it feels like a lot of these looter shooter games, the majority of the weapons are just so forgettable, and I just don't understand why they like. Cause it's like I said about this with the second Borderlands, like there's probably some weapons in there that have never been used. I mean, seriously, it's like you have like these huge amount of ways of weapons. There's probably a couple that took some pretty good time and effort to make by the artists, the programmers and whatnot, that never got used because there's just so many weapons. And I ask, what's the point of making so many weapons when there's going to be some weapons that are probably never used or just rarely ever used? Because, I feel was one of the underlying issues with looter shooters that, as you level up, these weapons, it's just like, what's the point of it? That's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of loved, Skyrim. It's like, yeah, sure, you have some of these badass weapons, but as you go along, it's like, for the most part, you have like these certain weapons you like, or, you can like enchant them or something, really bring up their levels because you've been enjoying the use of this weapon. Yeah, I like I said, until the game comes out, we don't know. Maybe it's like this such amazement between all these variety of weapons that it's like, wow, just awesome. I'm hoping so. I am, but like I said, I feel it's just one of the underlying issues with a lot of looter shooters when you have so many weapons. a lot of them get left behind, barely ever being used, if ever at that, you know. And like I said, there's been time and effort put into these. Like you want them to be used, right? You want them to be, yeah, have people use them and enjoy them. You know, enjoy the time they're using this weapon. But some of them just probably don't get used ever because there's just so many. Yeah. Hopefully that won't be an issue. Lastly, one thing that won't be an issue, I know it won't, is the characters. Story, we'll see. We'll see, because let's be real. The first Borderlands game, story wise, because, you know, like, I will get into the whole aspects of one of the things that I hope will work, but I doubt it. You know, not work, but be a thing, but I doubt it. Is that you remember what these characters are, right? You do? Because if you don't, I'm going to tell you. They're fault hunters. And I don't know about you, but I don't remember there being a fucking fault in the second game. It was one of the first game, but let's be real. That involved the end boss that after you killed, the fault like disappeared somewhere. I can't remember. It's been ages, but you couldn't get into the fault. That I find to be a big underlying fucking issue with this game series, you know? You're a fault hunter. Where the fuck are these faults? Can we please at least get in and, you know, explore or like loot one of these fucking faults? Seriously, for being a fault hunter, I find there be a lack of faults, right? Am I wrong on this? I don't mind being wrong, you know. Correct me if it is, you know. Be still if you could please, but in the end, like I don't. I mean, seriously, I feel there's a lack of faults in a game series about fault hunters, right? Or is that just me? But yeah, like I said, as stories we'll see. Who knows? Like I said, the first. Let's be real. The first one, story wise, it was going okay, but then you hit the end and you're like, the fuck. This is it. This is it. Be real. You know that's what you were thinking at the end of Borderlands One. Don't try and get that overhyped. Like, oh, Borderlands 3, you know, fuck that, you know, Borderlands 3 is gonna be awesome. Borderlands 1 was okay. Like, let's be real, no, it wasn't. At first game, story wise, because it ended with like a cop out ending. It really was a cop out ending. Like, okay, we're at this fault. Okay, oh, there's this big badass we gotta kill. Get in the vault. Okay, we killed him. Like, and there goes the fault. The fuck. Let's be real. That's what happened. You're like, well, I'm here. What the fuck happened? This is it? This is the end? That's how you felt. That's how I felt. I know how you felt at the end of Borderlands 1. Let's be real. So, yeah. Hopefully, I hope at some point we can actually explore and loot a fucking vault. Yeah, characters, you know, characters are gonna be awesome. Let's be real. Characters, I think that's the one thing that Borderlands has that is amazing. And let's be real, that outside the kind of the art side, I guess that's kind of, you know, the characters. The characters are memorable. They just are. That's factual speaking. Shut up. You're wrong if you disagree. The characters are memorable. Like them or hate them, you like if you hate them, they're memorable, right? Yeah, the characters are memorable. So we don't have that issue to worry about. I don't think they're gonna make a misstep with the characters here in Borderlands 3. They've had such success with the characters, at least in the other two games. That's the one thing that they got for Borderlands, at least. Let's be real, is the characters, including, you know, your characters, you know, or the ones you play. Yeah. So overall, you know, hopefully these issues I've felt with previous Borderlands games or just previous games in general, you know, aren't gonna be an issue that come along with Borderlands 3. But only time will tell. We must wait until the game comes out. But I thank you for watching. I hope you informed, possibly entertained. Hope you have a rock'em sock'em day. A peace.